According to Cooper and Alton Childcraft, it is vital for teachers to have their own idea about what type of teacher they want to be, as this will influence their core values and beliefs. When considering this myself, the type of teacher that I want to be is one that is supportive, caring, and places learners' best interests in front of everything else. Therefore, this will reflect in my teaching and learning values and beliefs, as well as in my future class. My first core value is that teachers should not label pupils on their attainment, as this could put a limit on children's learning. Before undertaking this DPP module, I had only ever experienced placement schools that predominantly used attainment labels. Although I understood that these labels would likely have negative implications on students' self-esteem, I could not imagine how to eradicate all of the restrictions that attainment labeling brings. Peacock maintains the view that even if attainment labels are not explicitly mentioned, children may still recognise where they are in terms of their attainment and thus where they fit in the hierarchy of classroom intelligence. In order to stop students perceiving themselves predominantly by their attainment, there needs to be a transformative shift in the conventional ability-based teaching practice, one that removes the restrictions that attainment labelling brings and promotes a limitless capacity for learning. The Learning Without Limits approach, created by Hart et al., is an approach that successfully achieves this. During this year's DPP sessions, we had a lecture talk from the Roxham School, a primary school that has embedded a Learning Without Limits approach. They stressed that labelling pupils essentially limits pupils' learning capacity by only providing them with certain tasks. Instead, they believe that offering pupils choice can enable pupils to take responsibility for their own learning and decide which challenge they feel they can undertake depending on their understanding. I feel that this would be much more beneficial, as this would enable everyone to reach their maximum learning potential. This lecture, in conjunction to my reading of Swan et al., has changed my outlook on labelling pupils and allowed me to understand that providing pupils with a choice of tasks can actually extend learning forward, as well as increase confidence and emotional welfare of the learners. This has led me to constructing this core belief. Another core belief that I uphold is that pupils should view mistake-making as a positive opportunity for new learning and growth. I've had this belief long before embarking on this course, as I personally understand what it feels like to fear failing and making mistakes. However, this course has further strengthened my belief that making errors is part of the learning process and thus should be seen positively. Within my own primary and secondary education, I was always academically high attaining and was labelled as gifted and talented. However, consistently achieving these levels and being praised on how gifted I was instilled a fear of failure within me, as I perceived that my intelligence was what gave me my high results and not my effort or perseverance. Although I still sometimes fear failure, I have begun developing my resilience throughout this course, as I now understand that failure is a necessary part of learning and therefore not a negative event. Richards highlights that our current education system is focused mainly on results and moving up international league tables. As a result, teachers are also focusing on students' grades, and it appears that a performance culture is being created. It therefore could be argued that we are currently creating and fostering what Dweck refers to as a fixed mindset within our learners, as teachers are highlighting ability as students' main attribute. Grigg has found that this can lead to students being focused more on how they perform and less on actually developing their learning. We need to change the way pupils view their ability and let them understand that mistakes can enhance their learning. By using Dweck's mindset approach and cultivating a growth mindset within our students, we can assist pupils in understanding that mistakes are essential to effective learning. During one of my placements, the teacher had many posters and quotes displayed in the class that emphasized making mistakes in a positive light. When pupils in the class felt frustrated about a mistake they made, the teacher would refer back to the posters and reassure them that they were actually learning more by making these mistakes, encouraging them to try again. This resulted in the pupils' confidence to make mistakes increasing, as they knew they had presented a good opportunity to learn something new. This placement helped me to further consolidate my own values and thus influence me in having this core belief. My final core value is that talk is central in the classroom, as it can have enhancing effects on pupils' learning. I have always felt that a classroom that offers students opportunities to talk and discuss their ideas is an ideal environment for learning to occur. However, while being on this course, and in particular while undertaking this DPP module, I have come to understand just how important pupil-to-pupil talk is in developing students' ability to co-construct understanding with others. Mercer and Hodgkinson highlight that talk, particularly Mercer's exploratory talk, can facilitate the way students construct meaning and thus how they learn. However, according to Peacock, though most children come to school talking already, they may not have been taught how to take part in productive forms of talk such as Mercer's exploratory talk. If pupils are not guided through how to construct exploratory talk and not given opportunities to practice this form of talk, they will be unlikely to be able to listen to others, consider alternative views, or challenge their own thinking. I believe that this form of exploratory talk is one of the most beneficial forms of pupil-to-pupil talk, as it enables students to begin to cognitively challenge each other's ideas, and this challenge develops pupils' thinking and learning. This course has given us many opportunities to discuss with our peers our ideas on various concepts. We have also been urged to challenge each other's and authors' ideas, which has assisted to further our thinking forward. The university have encouraged us to take part in what Mercer would describe as exploratory talk, as we have collaboratively shared our thoughts with other pupils and worked towards finding a consensus together. Exploratory talk has been highly beneficial to me, as it has allowed me to obtain ideas that I would not have thought of on my own. These ideas have then helped me as they've contributed to my thinking and either enhanced or shifted my thoughts. This has led me to believe that if talk enhances my learning, then surely it will also enhance the learning of my students in my class, and thus highlights why I have talk as a core value.